29 or whatever. But in my day and age, like, it's relatable to be like, haha, we don't got kids, like, quote
You're
unquote,
22.
fuck them kids, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'm glad you're admitting that.
It's like that.
I'm glad
like,
you're admitting that.
It's like a term that people use, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just relatable. Like, that's why it gets so many views, is what, to answer your question.
I think that's really honest of you to say that.
You wanted to come in, go
Fuck
ahead.
them kids.
Yeah, no, I said
I'm
quote
just
Damn, Candace, goddamn, bruh, I didn't know she had this much personality. If I knew that, I might actually watch her thing with Andrew Tate. I might need to watch that. Y'all remind me to watch that. Oh, we got somebody comment. Hey, Ark, what it do, broski?
unquote, that's what they say.
Yeah, but you're admitting that so that she's starting the fight. You're looking
And
at
it's a
people that are
trend,
moms.
that are
Like,
trending.
I don't when
It's a
when
trend.
I'm with my kids.
Right.
I don't post videos and say F them single chicks with no kids.
Right.
She did the baiting, okay, and we responded. That's it.
I don't know.
Like, it's a
The
new
first
trend
thing I was
type
going to
thing.
say.
Hold on, let's just let Essie go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
first thing I noticed about the video was that she was putting people with kids down. It'd be fine if she was talking about how her day was and wording it differently, but it seemed like almost immediately from the beginning of the video that she was belittling people with kids, which I think is like the part of the problem.
Pixie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like up to interpretation, because personally when I saw that video, my interpretation was like, oh, she's putting herself down because she's saying like, oh, you know, when I tell myself, why am I not further along in life? You know, it's okay because at least I'm enjoying these things. So I could definitely see, like, depending on how you're looking at it, or if you have further context, why you would think she's putting kids down. But when I saw that video by itself, I was thinking, like, people are kind of going a little bit overboard in the sense that she says she's being harsh on herself. She doesn't have children, and these are just the things that have made her happy today.
No, she coping. That's what's really happening. She's coping from the fact that she thinks that she's happy, and she's trying to convince herself that she's happy when she's actually not. That's what's happening. I don't know why all these people fucking faking it and saying all this other extra shit. That's what's really happening. She's fucking coping.
And I don't think that by itself, without additional context, is inherently wrong.
Anybody else? Tara, did
Yeah.
I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the background of what other types of content and messaging she puts out, but just from that video alone, I don't think to me, I never got the impression she was shaming people that women that were married to kids. It felt like she felt bad that she wasn't already there, and she was just trying to be optimistic about it. And so I think it sounded more like her content was about making women who are childless and not married yet and are approaching the end of their reproductive years to like look on the bright side. But I really, and all my friends know I'm like so eager and ready for like marriage and kids. But I really honestly just didn't get that impression from that video alone that she was in any way.
So when she was talking about, I got to go to a Beyonce concert and I didn't have to pay for a babysitter, you don't think that was belittling?
She was obviously
selfish of her to say that.
Yeah, she's being selfish,
and she
was being rude. And if it was flipped and a conservative woman with children said the opposite of that to single women,
it would blow up.
It would blow up, and they would say, "How rude of you! Why are you even mentioning single women? Just say you had a good day with your kids. That's fine. If I said I woke up, went to the park with my kids, did that, okay." Chill. Why are you correlating it to children? It doesn't make any sense. So, and like I said, she's produced more content, so that the context is important. She's leaned into this as a brand and as an influencer. So, then you're going to expect the people that influence people to
Candace, you are a professional.
Respond.
Talking to the mic.
Walsh being among them.
Talking to the mic.
Among them.
What the fuck?
And I would like to again warn men against marrying a woman who holds those sorts of perspectives, because she's ultimately just selfish. Like I said, you can have a day and you can be single. You don't have to dedicate your whole day to me, narcissist, me. Here's what I did for me.
I think they've used this word way too frequently. They just throw this word narcissist around, bro. Shut up. Like, wasn't a narcissist. She was a fucking woman that's old as fuck, that's coping. That's all it is. I think they just leaning way too much into everything and et cetera, blah, blah, blah. She's just coping. That's all it is. She's like a pitiful, like, little girl. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I already have a family. Like, deep down inside, I know that shit burning. Deep down inside, I know her parents look at her like, you ain't got kids yet? You ain't got a man yet? I ain't gonna have no grandkids. And that's what they like.
It's just not a woman that you want to marry, full stop. For leaving the kids totally separate from it. I wouldn't marry a woman like that.
Go ahead.
And all I'm saying is, like, it's sad, but it's crazy that, like, it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they're getting so many views on TikTok or Instagram or whatever they're posting these things on. It's like, it's a trend. Yeah. And yeah, you know, it's
Bro, that dress
crazy.
is
Just a show of hands. Who here?
Somebody need to nerf that dress. Hey, somebody. I think that's one of those Fashion Nova dresses. Somebody nerf that dress. Somebody nerf that shit.
Wants to have kids one day?
More, yeah. It's my third, but.
Oh, the one in the dress and the other one don't want to have
Besides
kids.
Candace, does anyone here have kids?
I do.
You got kids? How many? You got?
I have a son.
Of course,
He's
she
20
got kids because let me be. Lord, please forgive me for all the insensitive words that I be saying sometimes. Carrying on.
One.
Okay, gotcha.
He's
Gotcha.
perfect, and I'm good.
Okay.
But
got
one
it.
thing I notice, a trend, like, I agree that it's a trend, and she's doing that to brand herself and go viral and get a lot of attention and maybe monetize that. When I talk with other girls and they're younger, and I'll say, "Are you married? Are you planning on having children?" Sometimes that's a hot button for them, and it's maybe perhaps these kind of trends are like it's a rebellious thing because sometimes it's expected for people to get married out of the gate and have children and that kind of traditional lifestyle. If it's an expectation that parents have that they put on their children and younger generations aren't having it, especially these days when it's so hard it's so expensive, people are having to work a lot, that's just one thing I've noticed. A little pushback on that question even when I ask it. And I love children.
Gotcha. And
it's not. It's a pressure because it's human nature. We already understand that women lose their eggs at a certain age. They can't reproduce at a certain age. So obviously their pressure is going to be different from a man's pressure. Obviously, this is literally biology. I don't understand why the fuck people can't understand simple shit. So certain things in the world, society, right? Biology is going to dictate psychology. I'm fucking up. I'm sorry. Oh, forgive me. Please let me slow down and think with a proper tone. All right. Biology dictates everything else. If we had wings and we were flying, the world would be much different to accommodate us having wings and flying. If we had blah, 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 we lived underwater or we needed a lot more water, the world would be accommodative to the fact that we need a lot more water. It's just that simple. I don't understand this shit. So if you are a woman, your time is ticking when you hit around 17, 18, all the way to around, I would say, 30. That's when time is like, hey, you need to have some kids right now. The next guy you see, get him and have kids. That's when things start to get a little like that. And definitely when you hit 35. So the point is that your parents are going to be a lot more pushing their daughters to find a mate earlier versus their sons. And a lot other things are going to be pushed. This is just common sense that I don't understand.